Good morning. I am Pastor Terry from Tuscola United Methodist Church. Welcome to Tuesday, day 2 of our self-imposed quarantine. Today's video is a little shorter, but it's pretty basic to the tenets of our Christian faith. It is the one rule that we learned even as children, even if you didn't go to church, even if you're not a Christian, you've heard this said before, I'm sure, and that is that we are called to love our neighbor as ourselves. We know this one backwards and forwards, but everything has changed in the last 5 to 6 days. Everything looks different. So, how do we love our neighbor in the time of coronavirus? What are some things that we can do to show love to our neighbors when we're isolated from our neighbors? I've been thinking about that a lot lately. And it comes back down to the golden rule. How do we want people to treat us? Well, right now, most of us are feeling pretty safe. We're in our homes, but we know from watching what's happened around the world that this is going to it's there, more people that we know are going to get the virus. And I think that one thing that we need to remember is that it is important that we check up on each other. And it's important to check up on each other for our physical well being and their physical well being. I made a suggestion on Sunday in church, and I really hope that people follow this, and that is to take your church directory, find your name in the address section, and look at the name one down from yours. Please call that person. Check up on them. Now, this is partially for physical health reasons, but it's also to combat the other big problem that is going to come out of this coronavirus, and that is isolation is going to cause depression and anxiety. I know I have already paced my house more times than I care to admit, and it's been 48 hours. I don't know what it's going to look like in a week from now. We are, as human beings, designed to be social creatures. We're designed to talk and to interact with people. And so it's really important that we continue that level of conversation, continue with that. And that doesn't just mean your family that you're in the house with now. That means people that you're not talking to as much, people you may not even know as well, but we are all church family. Call somebody you love. And if you're not a member of our church, call some people that you have their phone number. Call your neighbors, call other church members for you, call relatives that maybe live far away. Call and check up on people. Here's another thought that I have had, and that is one way this virus is going to impact us all is economically. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I know that there are a lot of people today who are not getting paid because they are not at work. Um, and this is going to cause a lot of stress and strain on our environment. I think that as Christians, we have a job. One of the things that you saw Jesus preach on, you see this all the way back to the Old Testament, is taking care of those who don't have the same resources. Back all the way in Leviticus, field owners are told to leave the edges of their fields so that people can come and glean what produce you are not picking. So how do we do that now? Well, I know our church has a food pantry. I don't know what they're currently in need of, but if I find out, if Margie, if you're watching this, please post and let us know if you have any specific needs. We also might need to be called in to volunteer at the food pantry. Those of us who are not in a vulnerable population, we need to try to help people as much as possible. If you have a little bit of extra income, I always recommend, if I'm going to donate money, I always recommend UMCOR, which is the United Methodist Foundation. They will do amazing things with our money. And one of the reasons that I really like it is that there are no administration fees. 100% of what you give goes directly to the people impacted. So if you have a little extra money, if you're one of those who's sitting flush right now, please consider donating some of what you have. And then a final way that I thought we can help each other out is kind of living like the early Christians in Acts. It is really tempting to hoard supplies right now. I have, growing up in Florida, I've gone through a couple of hurricanes. I was not surprised with the state of the grocery stores when I went last week to stock up myself. But what I was what I've been thinking about is unlike a hurricane or a blizzard, this is going to last a lot longer. And if we are hoarding supplies, we are hurting our neighbors. And so I started to think about a system maybe here in Tuscola. If you have it, if you need it, let's get it to you. If you are in need, say you're out of toilet paper, and we all know that toilet paper is liquid gold right now. Say you're out of toilet paper, let me know, and I will post, hey, we need some toilet paper brought to the church. And perhaps we can find someone who's got extra toilet paper, one of those who got lucky enough to get in early while the getting was good, and we can provide that. And in that way, we are being Christians in the way that they are talked about in Acts 4, verses 32 and verses 34 through 35. And that says, now the whole group of those who believed were of one heart and soul, and no one claimed private ownership of any possession, but everything they owned was held in common. There was not a needy person among them, for as many as owned lands or houses sold them and brought the proceeds of what was sold. They laid it at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to each as any had need. Now, I'm not saying go out and sell your house. Don't think you'd get much nibbles in this market anyways. But what I am saying is let's find a way to share what we have with those who are in need. And that doesn't necessarily mean financial need. That may mean simply they are not able to find something that they need. So maybe you have some other thoughts. I would love to hear any other ways that you think that we could show love to each other. So if you have them, please post them. Let us know, and I will try to find a way to implement them. So now I ask you, stay safe. I miss you all. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.